Hi everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. Hold on, just set my sound up. Hi everyone, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from whenever or wherever you're calling in from and or watching this recording from. Today we'll welcome you once again to this week's outlook on the forex market, just to see what the market has for us for this week. If you're looking at my screen right now, you can already see that it's going to be a very bloody week because there's so much red going on all the way from Sunday down to Friday. Oh, I really did forget. I said I was going to check what was happening with Brexit. I had a very short news about the fact that the Brexit deal was beginning to show some form of positivity. So I was, my opinion, I think that's probably going to push the pound up a little bit this week. But let's just say it's just my opinion. We're still yet to see what's going to happen. But based on that news, short news I saw this evening, I think the Brexit is beginning to have some form of positive news. So let's just see. For this week, we have from Sunday, we have the Euro NZD as well news releases. We have let me see how many GBP news we have. We have one on Monday, one on Wednesday, and we have Euro Thursday. We have Euro Monday as well, Euro Sunday. So quite positive about this week. This week we're probably going to see some really good, have some really good winnings in some of these trades. So just be on the lookout, and also for those that trade news, you can also take advantage of this liquidity volatility that's going to be seen in the market. There's a number of speeches here. Draghi is speaking this week. The NZD guys, governor is speaking this week as well. Khan is speaking this week as well. So you see a number of speeches this week, and speeches also move the market as well. Speeches and rates, they move the market, and of course NFP move the market. I think FOMC as well. Okay, this is FOMC minutes week as well, so that we can expect that to be a good move in the market as well. Okay, so let's just go straight. I promised last week I wasn't going to make these sessions so long because I don't want us to spend too much time watching videos. Although I know it's quite important for you to spend time watching the videos, but I don't want it to be that because it's so long, you get so discouraged watching it, and because I always drop some really good nuggets in my videos. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try and limit it to, it's 8 in my own time now. It's 8:06 now. Let's see if I can make it at least 15 minutes. And then, so you can at least benefit from it. But I'm going to spend the rest of the other time on the platform sending in my chats analysis as well this week. So let's see how it goes. So first of all, we're looking at the Euro USD. Euro USD, really sweet pair for some of us that took that drop. That was a very good one. Now, if you can see it, if you have the eyes of pattern eyes, like some of us do, I know Didi is one of those people that really enjoys a head and shoulders, an inverted head and shoulder. So if you can see it clearly, you can see that impulse leg to the downside, see that pullback, and see that drop, another pullback, and that drop happening now. So this likely might be that inverted head and shoulder. If you know me very well, I like to see them happen like this. At least I need to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before I can really begin to say, conclude that it's an inverted head and shoulder. Sorry about that. Or a head and shoulder. When it comes to when it does 1, 2, 3, sometimes I don't really look at it. Even if it does 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't consider it a potential, sometimes, but I really look at it if I start seeing the fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one, fifth leg, then I can start calling it a potential head and shoulder or inverted head and shoulder. So here I'm more biased for this going to the upside, going in, going back. Although it's strong here, there's a strong push to the downside. But we'll just see what it's gonna do. So if it pushes above, might break above and then retest that level, that neckline, as you can see, and then shoots to the upside. This is the measured move. This level to this level, and this level to that level. That's the measured move. That will be your TP. And onto the downside, if that head and shoulder, inverse head and shoulder doesn't hold, then we can see that break from here to the bottom of that channel. That's why you have that channel there. So if right now you can see price came here, jumped up, came back down, jumped up, came back down, jumped up. So now we'll be expecting price to come back down. So those are my two biases. But you know how we trade, we need to see confirmation. And what confirmation am I looking for? I need to see price. For me to take this downside, I need to see price break this level, retest that level and come to the downside. And for me to take the upside, I need to see price break the neckline or break out of this what's it called now, the support here or resistance here, and also break out of this top trend line. So those are multiple confirmation for me, multiple confluence for me, so that I can see, look for the upside move. Again, even though that happens, price, because some of the things that can happen with this market is that price may just do that, break to the upside like we expect, and then do this. There's some people that know, that happens. That may happen, but again, you know how we trade. If price breaks ahead, maybe I would put my sell limit, my buy limit here, expecting price back and take me in. I know. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I just messed up my sound. Okay, hope you guys can still hear me. Let me see. Hope the sound is still good. Okay, so if price breaks, where was I? If price breaks above, I'm gonna put my buy limit here so that price can come in and take me into the trade and then take me up. But if I do that, I'm definitely gonna have my stop loss. Right now is a little tricky because it means my stop loss will probably be somewhere around here. But instead of going that far, I probably might put my stop loss somewhere around here just to follow the rules of the previous low. So this is the previous low. My lines are horrible. So this will be where my stop loss will be. Why? Because price can just push down, you know, have that spring before jumping to the upside, you know. So I have my stop loss there. But if it comes in and takes me out, not a problem. I'll just take the loss. And then if it comes again, it means I'm going to look for another opportunity to take that trade again. That is how it is in the market. You can't really tell 100% what the price is going to do. So just take the trade, have your stop loss in place, and take advantage of the moves. So that's Euro USD. Go straight to NZD USD. As you can see on the upside, this is what we're looking at. Price that level, touch, and then break and retest. So we're expecting this retest to happen, but price pushed. It kind of did happen. Some of us that took that trade, you look at this, it came here, retested, dropped massively. Let me see how many pips that happened. Oh, I said massively, 83 pips. It dropped 83 pips. Some people that had that move that made that winning, that was good. So you see what happened there. Came down, dropped that move, and then we thought it was going to keep coming down, but what happened? Price pushed to the upside. So although, to be honest, really, if you look at it from when we started, we were expecting price to do that anyway, because price has been in that channel. So we wanted price to break out, which it did, broke to the upside and got to this place. We wanted price to keep going up, so that but because of the weekly, we can never really tell what price is going to do. We felt, okay, if price is doing this, probably what is going to happen is going to retest and then drop. So that was one bias. But the second bias was the fact that price needs to come out of that channel that it was in and break to the upside. So, but as you can see, the two analysis played out because price got there. For some people that want to take a trade here, that would have been a very good trade, for a little to no drawdown at all. So you go in, you take your 83 pips. Probably maybe if your TP was here, once you're in 20 or 40 pips, move your stop loss in. If it comes back, takes you out in profit, you're still a winner. But for some people that were also still looking for the upside or still looking for the upside right now, you can see what price is doing. Let me go to the 4-hour time frame. You can see what price is doing right now. Price is in that channel. Remember, don't forget this move. We wanted price to jump in, go up, retest that, and jump bounce. It retested, kind of pushed up a little bit, but dropped. But it's been in that channel for a while now, so we're expecting price to probably continue to the upside. Why? Because of this price action here. You can see move, impulse leg, pullback, impulse leg, pullback. So we expect an impulse leg again, a push to the upside. Yep. So that's one. I'm also looking at what may happen if this is a descending channel. Then maybe this would mean that price will break to the upside. So because of that, remember we always see channels. I don't like red. Let me change the color. So if this is a descending channel, then we expect price to break to the upside. If this is not a descending channel, then this is probably going to be a flag, and we expect price to break to the downside, and that downside would continue. But you know how it is. We need to see that move. We need to see some form of retest of that zone, and then we can take a trade to the downside, or maybe this one as well, see that, and then take a trade to the upside to not take advantage of that trade. Or for some people that like to trade the engulfing candle, so you can wait for just engulfing candle. So once you see that engulfing candle, then some form of pullback, and then you can trade, take your buy to the upside. So that's for NZD USD. Okay. My next one now is let me see this one. Okay, yeah, same thing, pretty much the same thing. So if you see the price breaks to this level, your buying breaks, buying to this level, then if it breaks that, comes back, retest, you buy into that level. So just breaks that down a little further. Now this pair really paid us well last week. Some of us that took that trade, if you saw that head and shoulder, if you saw it with me, see that impulse leg, shoulder, the head, then it price fell, pull back again, and then that move. Some of us that caught it, well done. I saw that move, and I asked us to send it on mini chat platforms. I think a number of people took it. Oops, you are no longer in another device. Messenger is now inactive. Oh, okay. Um, okay, hold on. Hold on. I think okay, sorry. I think I was an issue with my connection, with my login. I think yeah, I think either somebody logged in as well. Okay, sorry about that. So where was I now? I was saying that we had that move, had that drop, then we had that move again. For some of us that took that trade, that was a good one on you. And you see what happened? Price gave us, well, maybe didn't get exactly to where we wanted, but come on, guys. If we took a trade from here, we took an entry from here, that's 100 and how many pips? 140 pips. You won't see because of this how many pips lose this trade. So just secure your bag. This is 8 pips. So as you can see, price is acting like it's retracing. So now what is the next move? I don't really like this pair. Why don't I like it? Because of the spikes everywhere. See wicks all over. Sorry, I said spike. This wicks everywhere. I don't really like to see wicks. So, but you can see we saw this good move. That's why we took it. In fact, I think this trade, somebody asked me to look at it for them. So when I looked at it, I saw it playing out nicely. So that's why you see that this markings on this side, and it played out perfectly from that pattern that we created. Played out perfectly. So now, what am I expecting this trade to do? I'm not really sure, because as you can see, week to the upside, week to the downside on the daily. So maybe this may just pull back up, but in any case, this level is a very good level to look for a trade if it comes back down. So if you see something like this, you see price come down, retest that, then you can continue to sell it to the downside. If not, just let all of this happen. Then maybe when price comes back to the top here,
can find another trade to the upside. I don't like trading in the middle of trades, taking trades in the middle. I like to take high probability trades. High probability trades for me are trades that are at important structure level support or resistance. So I may just ignore all of this altogether and wait for price to come all the way back to this level, the neckline. So if it comes there, you could decide to take a sell back down or wait for price to break, maybe something like this, wait to see something like this, you know, again, or wait for price to break above retest and then to the upside. So that will be your move. So straight up move to really running for time. Straight up, let me see, somebody just joined. Okay. Um, I've been, so hold on, give me a second. Been logged out again. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah, somebody just joined. Anyways, so I hope everyone can hear. I think I'm having some audio difficulties as well. Okay. Okay. Now to USD card. Can I confirm? Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Who's on the call? Dottie, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you just type on the platform, or you can speak? Because
Hey,
okay.
Mike. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Great, great, great. Okay, all right then. Okay, welcome guys. So now back to what I was looking at. I've already looked at a few, so but I'm not gonna go back to it because of the time. I don't want, like I said, I don't want it to be too long. So what I'm gonna do, okay, straight up now, continue from where I stopped. USD card, sweet pair that we were looking at, that massive impulse, the flag, big flag. So we're expecting this to go to the upside, and as you can see, playing out good. But we also noticed another move on the inside, which is this channel here that price has been creating. We almost missed it, but some of us that took it, I think I mean, a lot of people took this trade, and I know we won big on it. Saw that move to the upside, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So right now, you can see what's happening. We saw it here. Some of us that took it, we took it from here, saw that move down, took it to that upside, took it back down. So right now, what's happening, I think it's playing out also, trying to do the same thing. So that's really, really good. So we're going to continue to see, my bias is for you to just continue to the upside. Although, as you can see, it kind of pushed down, gave that massive bearish engulfing candle. But I would have really been scared, not scared now, would have been biased to the downside if this bearish engulfing candle happened at the top of this channel. Normally when you see something like that, you see a pullback and then you can say it's coming down. But because it's at the bottom here, if I believe that this is still gonna be in this channel, then this was just the bears trying to just fight the battle, and but the bulls are still winning, because it's at the bottom of this channel. So obviously, definitely, it's probably, let me not say definitely. So it's probably going up to the top of the channel again. But if my bias is not right, then we know what's gonna happen. Then this is gonna just keep coming down again. Gonna push it back down, and then you look for a retest, and then you can trade it to the downside. You take it back into that what's it called now, that channel that you have there, that massive channel. That's the one on the daily. So to come back into it as this one here, but for me, I'm really strong on the upside. I'm really, really strong on the upside. I expect price to go back to the top of the channel and they keep playing and then continue based on this move right here. Where is my weekly? This move right here, that's what I'm expecting to happen. But yeah, but we're not going to sit in the market and expect all of that to play out. We'll take jump in and jump out as the market gives, and so that we don't allow it to take back what it's given. So that's USD card. USD chef sweet trade, except that it's been pushing up and down, but if you know what's it called now, ascending wedge, you know how it is that when price does this, the next place that what the next thing that happens is for price to break. Let me just bring that down a bit. Bring that down. Let me see if that should there's no rule on how it should be redrawn anyway. So you know how it is. If price breaks out, it needs to break down to the downside of that ascending wedge. And in confluence, this was a key support resistant level. And what did you see based on our analysis? That dropped. Right now, as you can see, it's pulling back. It's kind of it's showing signs of not consolidation now, pullbacks now. So you know, pullback flags. When it does this, you see that, what do you expect? A drop. So from my own opinion, this is going to drop, continue to the downside. This one here is going to be a very good win. First of all, for some people, you might want to take profit at this level. Take profit at this level. Why? Because it's a trend line. You can see that trend line. So price is probably going to kind of come back here, maybe push up a bit and then continue to the downside. Or you can just see something like this, price breaks that and then push up and then to the downside. But this is my final level. Where is it now? On the weekly, I'm expecting price to come back to this, this level right here. This, if you can see that 27, yeah, that's 0.91 level. That's where I'm expecting price to come back to come all the way back to that level, if it continues to be bearish. But if that doesn't happen, if it pushes up, let's see what would happen to the upside. Yeah, so if price pushes up, I'm not all of this side, I'm not going to take anything now because it's still bearish. All of this side is still bearish. I'm going to wait to see price break back to this level, possibly break this previous high, see that previous high broken before I can begin to say, okay, I think price is going to keep pushing up. But if you want to take short wins, you can always drop back to your smaller time frame and look for short wins. Maybe your one could be, there's my alternate again. Your one could probably be something like this. Just do that and then wait for price to break above that. Then you can retest that and then you can take it to that top side. See, that's how we trade. That's how we trade. Just can also wait for that level to be broken. See, wait for a retest and then take it to the upside. So those are your moves. But for me, this one, I'm really, really biased to the downside for this trade. Really, really bad because it just broke out of it. So I believe price is just setting up for another fall. That's USD chef, AUD USD. This was one trade that everyone has been anticipating. You see that giant channel. It's been there started since 2018 January. So it's been there entire 2018 January, and it's been, consolidating, forming that channel all the way down to, this November, and then it broke out of it. Now, two things possible. As you can see, if you see it on the daily, sorry, my chart just looks a bit messed up. See it on the daily. We expected this to happen. We are waiting for this to happen, and that actually played out. We wanted it to come back to this level so that we can take another trade. As you can see, price came back to that level, but it missed some of our sell buy limits. See where it turned, went back up. So right now, okay, sorry, I'll take you to the 4-hour time frame. So the same thing I talked about on USD chef, right? Yeah, USD chef. That channel ascending wedge. See, the same thing plays out here. This is just for you to just know, if you want to trade ascending wedge, this is what to look out for. So anytime you see this kind of setups in the market, so price broke out to the downside. So right now, what am I looking for? I'm waiting for price to, one pattern I'm seeing is this, what's it called now? This bat pattern. So I'm expecting price to kind of probably play up to the upside. And another thing that I'm also looking at is this what's it called now, the trend line. Price came there, bounce, came there, bounce, came there. So I'm expecting another bounce to the upside. I'm expecting price to bounce to the upside, get to that 88 level, and then probably drop again, probably drop further. That may happen. But that we are really looking for the upside for this trade. We are really looking for the upside. Let me see our final TP. That's the level. That's where our final TP is expected to get to. But if you see it on the higher time frame, you can already see what's happening. Price impulse broke out, and then you knew for every impulse like this, massive impulse, you would definitely get a pullback. So what this is probably going to be a pullback for price to continue to the upside. Yep, it's definitely a pullback for price to continue to the upside. But so how do we trade this one? Let's see, what do we look out for? So again, look for a move to this level. Let me see if I can see something on the smaller time frame. You can see it for yourself. It's consolidating. Yep, this is really clear. It's consolidating. I know consolidations are really good for trading. So you see, wait for a breakout, wait for a retest, and then same thing we saw in the Euro AUD. The same thing on the downside. If it breaks down, then it means two things is gonna break out of two things, break out of that trend line, and also break out of that that consolidation, and then you look for trade to the downside. So those are your two moves. But don't worry, I'm going to send out the charts again. I'm going to look at the charts again and then send them out as they appear. Now, this one, I was really waiting for price to come to that level and bounce up. But the same thing, remember that thing that we saw here on the 4-hour, this move here that we saw on USD, Chef, and this one as well. Same thing is what happened here. I was expecting this to come down here, but when this started forming, then I knew this wasn't going to happen. This thing was going to break to the upside, and this is exactly what happened. It's like this is the bullish side of it. The other one we saw was the bearish side of it. So you see, price broke out, went to the upside, although it came back and retested. So now, two things. I'm not really sure what's going to happen, and I don't like to trade like this. It's so uncertain. You can decide to say, okay, because it broke out and came back to retest, you may want to take a trade here, probably stop loss somewhere around here, then take a trade to probably take to the upside. Or you can wait to see price probably break down if it's coming down. So, excuse me. So you wait to see if it comes down, then you can take your TP around here. But expecting price to push back to the upside to complete this pattern. But that's just on the smaller time frame. Let's see the higher time frame now, see what is attainable. Now look at this. You see that channel prices in that triangle bouncing off. Let me see on the weekly. You see what's been happening, see what's been happening, see what has been happening. Right now, price is at the bottom here. So we're expecting price to push back to the upside. So at this bottom, it pushed. At this bottom, it pushed. So it's now at this bottom. You see that push to the upside. This is like a retracement. So generally, we're expecting price to push to the upside on the higher time frame, possibly go back to the top of that triangle, and then possibly come back down. Keep doing the same thing till it pushes. It breaks out. But so that's just on the higher time frame. But on the smaller time frame, we can see what's happening and already see this is where price is at right now. For me, I would say this is so uncertain. So we may have to let this one go and look for a more positive, a more probable trade like the USD card here. And maybe which other one did we see? Okay, we'll look at more before we go. NZD, Euro NZD. Good trade. Some of us took it from the upside to the downside. Some of us even took it all the way from here when it formed that channel. We're looking for that 530. We couldn't get it. Got only this level, and then it broke down, and we took it to that level based on all of those analysis. And now the same thing. If you've been following me, you see the same thing happening. Descending wedge, what did you see? It break to the upside. Right now, to trade this, you can say, okay, price has been bouncing off that trend line. Go here, bounce, go here. Now, what are you expecting? We're probably expecting this to bounce also. So maybe this would bounce to the upside, and then it will continue, retest, and then back to the top of that channel. So let's see now what's there on the higher time frame. Still be in that zone. Let me see, to still be in that what's it called now, that big channel. So maybe price is going to do that, and then from there bounce back to the top of this channel. That may be our final TP. But right now, remember how it is when it is in consolidation, is very uncertain. So you just take the small wins as you see them as they come. So that one, let me go again. Summary right now, we are here. This is where we are at, waiting for price to bounce. So you can even take a trade somewhere around here. Stop loss where previous low. This is the previous low, then take a trade here and then to the upside. But if that breaks, this is your move. Retest, but look at where it's probably the best place to take your TP will be the bottom of that consolidation window. So you take a trade here and then TP here. But where would be your stop loss somewhere around here, previous high? Even some people may want to put theirs here, but that doesn't offer a very good risk to reward, because that's massive risk just to make this small reward. So for this one, I would say trade carefully. Which other one will I look at before I draw the curtain on this, because I don't want it to be too long? Okay, let me see this one. Okay, this is another good one. For me, I'm saying, okay, this is me not being following my rules, expecting this to, happen, but it doesn't really look to me like a valid head and shoulder yet. So, but just in case this is a valid head and shoulder forming, then this is what we should be expecting. But I'm not really biased about that head and shoulder. I'm positive about it. This has been a very good win for me personally, because took it all the way from somewhere around here down to that level. So now we're struggling. So if you're going to trade this pair right now, you see the things are already there for you. The levels are already there. If it goes above that, breaks above that, you're trading to the upside. If it breaks below that, you're trading to the downside. I wouldn't normally don't like to take these small moves. Just let them go, except it breaks out, from small levels like this. Then I would take my TPs at the giant levels. But if you want to take it on the smaller time frame, just drop down and see what is available. We're on the 4 hour. Let me see on the smaller time frame. So it seems as if it's doing that double top, double top thing. The M thing has that M thing going. So, but if that be the case, then because it's here already, what you need is for that to break well and then retest and then probably take it back to the downside if you want to trade that. But if that doesn't happen, you may not be able to trade this. It doesn't have a good probability unless it breaks above those highs, retest that to the upside. But it's really entirely up to you. You could use any other strategy to look at it. And remember what I said, I'm still going to look at the charts again, and send them to the platform, the ones I can capture. Yes, my final chart is going to be this one, sweet one. Mistakenly got out of this trade, so got it, because this was one I was waiting to take me down to this level, but I think I was trying to get out of Eurocard, before the jump, and then I mistakenly closed off this trade. It was going very, very well, because I lost a few pounds on this trade because of that, push, and I anticipated this to drop, but I think kind of pushed up a bit and hit my stop loss, but dropped eventually. So, and as you can see, what happened, price came all the way down here and pushed almost back 100%, but continued to the downside and has been doing that. So for this one, if you want to trade this one right now, this is where price is at. Let me see. This is where price is at now. What is possible? Two things are possible. It is at the bottom of this channel again, as you can see. So it means price may just bounce up to the upside. This is just gonna give people a very bad day if it does that. So price may just bounce back to the top of this channel, or what we wait for now is for price to break that level, retest that level, and then continue to the downside. This is a very bearish looking trend. So right now we need this to keep coming down. I'm going to look to enter this again because it still has a long way to go. So, but if that doesn't happen, then price decides to keep pushing to the upside, you may not be able to find a good entry at this point. You might start looking for a good entry at this level here. Then your stop loss will be somewhere around here so that you can TP at the top of this channel. But again, as price continues to paint, we'll keep looking at them. I looked at the news earlier, so let me just jump in again one more time. So as you can see, it's going to be a very bloody week. So many reds everywhere, so many speeches all over the place. So you guys just be on the lookout. I know there's going to be a lot of volatility, liquidity going around this week. So just be on the lookout and then take advantage of what you can take advantage of and trade carefully. I'm going to stop this recording now so I can take questions and interact with guys on the platform. Thank you guys. See you on the other side. Mm,